Here we are once again, my brothers and sisters. I want to welcome you to another Living Hope Today study. I thank God for you. And today we find ourselves in Numbers chapter 34. We're coming to the end of the book of Numbers. You remember as we began this book, we were numbering the troops, the people that had been delivered from slavery in Egypt. We've watched them navigate all through the Sinai Peninsula. They've been moving up to the north now into what is the Promised Land. And in chapter 34 today, we will see them actually decide where they're going to be in that land. Let's look at it together. Numbers 34:1, the Lord said to Moses, again, we always seem to be able to start somewhere like this. We want to make sure we understand that this is God himself directing Moses. Command the Israelites and say to them, when you enter Canaan, the land that will be allotted to you as an inheritance will have these boundaries. So God is saying, look, we're going to set some boundaries here. This is where the tribes are going to be. All right, your southern side will include some of the desert of Zin along the border of Edom. On the east, your southern boundary will start from the end of the Salt Sea, cross south of Scorpion Pass, continue on to Zin, and go south of Kadesh Barnea. Then it will go to Hazar Hadah and over to Asmon. You say, where are these places? Well, some of these places have been lost to antiquity. Some of these places are still very definable. We'll look at a map by the time we get to the end of this to try to give you a fuller picture of what's going on. Verse 5, where it will turn, join the Wadi of Egypt, and end at the sea. The sea would be the Mediterranean Sea on the western side of the Promised Land. Your western boundary will be the coast of the Great Sea. This will be your boundary on the west. This is the land God gives Israel all the way to the Mediterranean. For your northern boundary, run a line from the Great Sea to Mount Hor, and from Mount Hor to Lebo Hamath. Then the boundary will go to Zedad, continue to Ziphron, and end at Hazar Hanan. This will be your boundary on the north. For your eastern boundary, run a line from Hazar Hanan and Shepham to Shepham. The boundary will go down from Shepham to Riblah on the east side of Ain and continue along the slopes east of the Sea of Kinnereth. Then the boundary will go down along the Jordan and end at the Salt Sea. We know that as the Dead Sea. This will be your land with its boundaries on every side. So as the Lord lays out the territory, he starts by encompassing the whole land that will be occupied by the tribes. Moses commanded the Israelites, assign this land by lot as an inheritance. The Lord has ordered that it be given to the 9.5 tribes. 9.5, what do you mean? Well, because the families of the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. If you remember in chapter 33, there was a little kerfuffle about the fact that Reuben and the Gadites and some of the people from Manasseh wanted to stay on the east side of the Jordan. There was a negotiation. It really wasn't, Lord, what do you want us to do about this? They just kept requesting to be there because they liked the land there. Moses' condition was, if you fight for us as we move into the Promised Land, instead of staying here and being comfortable, as long as you come with us and help us overtake the Promised Land, well then, okay, you can stay on the east side of the Jordan. So when we get to verse 13 of chapter 34, there's only 9.5 tribes left to enter the Promised Land. While these 2.5 tribes have received their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan of Jericho toward the sunrise. And the Lord said to Moses, these are the names of the men who are to assign the land for you as an inheritance. So here's two names, Eleazar the priest and Joshua son of Nun. You remember, I hope, that Joshua is going to inherit the leadership role from Moses, that God has promised Moses that he is about to die. He is not going to enter the promised land because of his disobedience a few chapters ago. Joshua is going to be leading. So Eleazar is the high priest. He's the son of Aaron. Aaron has also passed away. Now Joshua and Eleazar are in charge of making sure, excuse me, of making sure these things happen according to God's will. And appoint one leader from each tribe to help assign the land. These are their names. I love this. Caleb, son of Jephunneh. I hope I say that right. From the tribe of Judah. I just need to pause at Caleb for a moment. Caleb's got to be really old. He was one of the guys that said, way back when they sent spies into the promised land to see if they should go ahead and take it, they came back to the camp. You remember there were 12 testimonies, 10 of which said, these people in the promised land are too big for us. We don't stand a chance. We should go. 2 of which said, no, God told us to go. He has all the power. We trust him. We should go. Caleb and Joshua were the 2 guys that said we should go. God allowed Caleb to survive 40 years of wandering in the desert, while the other 10 plus those who disbelieved died in the desert. Okay, Caleb is still strong. He's still being assigned a role. He's from the tribe of Judah. God has been faithful to him. And Joshua as well, as Joshua leads now in his role. So we go on, verse 20. Shemuel, son of Ammihud, from the tribe of Simeon. Then this will get broken down by names. Elidad, son of Kislan, from tribe of Benjamin. Buki, son of Jogli, the leader from the tribe of Dan. Haniel, son of Ephod, the leader from the tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph. Kemuel, son of Shiphan, the leader from the tribe of Ephraim, son of Joseph. Again, notice Joseph gets recognized. Elizaphan, son of Parnak, the leader from the tribe of Zebulun. Paltiel, son of Azan, the leader from the tribe of Issachar. Ehud, son of Shalami, the leader from the tribe of Asher. Pedahel, son of Ammihud, the leader from the tribe of Naphtali. Sure, easy for you to say. These are the men the Lord commanded to assign the inheritance to the Israelites in the land of Canaan. So just notice the order, the specificity. Here we go. God's going to allow them to be assigned by lot. And what did that look like? How did that turn out? Well, I'm glad you asked. This map might be a little hard to navigate. Let's start here. Here's the Jordan River, okay? That little black line. So what do we know? We know that Reuben is on the east side of the Jordan River. We know that Gad is next to him, again on the east side. We know that the half-tribe of Manasseh is also there to the northern portion. Okay, on the western side of the Jordan River, what do we have? We have Asher there in the tan. Then we have Naphtali there in the cream color. After that is Zebulun in that little circle there, and a little tiny circle there is Issachar. Now we have Manasseh again, because not all of Manasseh stayed on the east side of the Jordan. Okay, then we have Ephraim. Again, notice how these tribes are divided. Some have quite a bit, some have just a little bit. Here's Dan with just a tiny little bit compared to Manasseh, for instance. And look at Benjamin. He's got this little piece of ground, but nonetheless a piece of ground. Judah's really big, and interestingly, Judah surrounds Simeon. All right, so that's how the 12 tribes break out in terms of their actual position in the kingdom of Israel. Now you remember, I hope, that 12 tribes are represented, 10 of which will eventually form the northern kingdom of Israel, and the two of which will form the southern kingdom of Judah. But we'll see that more clearly as we move forward. Anyway, for today, we just know God has a plan. God has a way to bring his people into the land. He has fulfilled his promise to Abraham in the sense that the land has come about to his descendants. And we know God is faithful. We'll watch the conflict, we'll watch the trouble as we move forward. But here, toward the end of the book of Numbers, we see that God has faithfully accomplished what he said he would do. We praise his name because we know that in our lives today, God still faithfully accomplishes all that he's committed himself to through the promises of Scripture. God bless you, church. Serve him well today.
Who is it who for sinners shed his blood, and now for cleansing all can plunge beneath that flood? It's Jesus.